Hi, everyone. Welcome back to our podcast, No More Secrets. As always, I'm your niece, Katie Albrecht.
And I'm your aunt, Mary Albrecht. And we are goofy today. We're just feeling like laughing.
Just in a silly, goofy mood.
And really not, I don't even really feel like talking to anybody.
Glad we're doing this, yeah.
I'm on a podcast and I don't feel like talking. No, that never happens to me.
That's what I was going to say. Like, for you, it's a little odd, yeah.
Never happens. I have to be on my deathbed.
Oh my God. Even then you'll still like...
And you guys are going to count me out, and I'm going to raise up and
Hey
be
guys,
like,
I have one more
another
thing.
thing.
Bob Saget. We got to talk about him.
Oh, yeah, Bob Saget. Yeah, that was so sad this week to find out.
Was that this week that he passed?
It wasn't this week he passed, but the autopsy results came through,
Oh,
or
okay.
part of them, and that his cause of death was a brain bleed. And they think he had a bruise on the back of his head, and they tested him, and he had blood on the brain, which meant he hit his head and died. And I think what is important, like what I want people to know about this, because I've seen this happen a lot, like with Grandpa, with his head. But in general, especially old people, when they hit their head, you want to take them to the doctor. But young, healthy people, when you hit on the back of the head, right by the base of the skull here, where it kind of indents a little bit, that, first of all, that's a great place to kill somebody. Like if you, let's say you're fighting for your life,
Good tip.
well, only if you're fighting for your life, okay? Has to be defense.
For legal reasons.
Okay, I'm your aunt.
Thanks. Good looking out.
And but anytime you hit, so do you guys? I don't know if you remember. Well, you know Liam Neeson, the actor. He was married to this girl, Natasha Richardson.
Oh no, I didn't know that.
And I think she was in what was she? Hey, pop culture. What was she in? Travis. She was in The Parent Trap.
Oh,
Yeah.
which character?
The mom, the divorced
Okay.
mom, real pretty girl.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
So she was married to Liam Neeson. She was skiing.
I didn't know
She
they were married.
fell down, hit her head on the fell backwards while skiing, hit her head, and then went to her hotel room to lay down, thinking, "Oh, I'm fine. I just have a headache." Well, that's right where
Bless
it's. Oh, this is Dunkel. He sneezed.
But that's where.
That's where I'm petting him.
Oh, at the back of the head.
Wait, what are we talking about?
You're talking about brain bleeds and then also Dunkel. Very important things, and I can see the similarities. Yeah.
And I'm petting him on the back of the head.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you hit yourself at any age on the back of the head, go to the hospital, because it bleeds readily. And
Even with a helmet on? Did she have a helmet, or do you know?
that, I don't know. That's a good question.
That is interesting. Yeah, because usually when you're skiing, you have some sort of helmet or something to protect you. But
She went into her hotel room to lay down and died of a brain bleed. And the same with Bob Saget, they said, is that he had a bruise on the back of his head. He must have hit his head somewhere. Maybe it was like on the headboard. Maybe he fell backwards. Maybe, was carrying stuff and kind of fell backwards and hit his head on something. But that's what he died of. It wasn't heart failure or anything like that. And so definitely, even if you don't have a concussion, they say, well, my eyes aren't dilated or whatever. But if you hit yourself on the back of the head, you really should go to the doctor. Make sure you don't have a brain bleed. That's good advice.
That is
I
good
thought.
advice. And I just went skiing too, so I
Did you fall?
only okay, 2 instances. Neither was when I was going down the hill. One was when I first put the skis on, and then I tried to take them off because there's like a little thing that you have to press on the back of your foot to get the ski to like release. And I tried to do that with the ski on my foot, and then just got kind of tangled, and then just boop fell right down. Yeah.
Okay, but not while skiing.
Not while skiing. Once I got off the chairlift once, I also fell down as well. So
Just from
real good times.
just getting off of it and just not not paying attention at that time.
A little bit of panic. Yeah, because there's people. They jam you all into one ski lift, and then there's people that are supposed to go this way. Well, you go this way, but they didn't go this way, so then you're just like, freaking out about it and stuff. So
Okay,
I got a little tangled, and then fell down.
Tangled is a good excuse, and also your legs are so long. So to go all the way down there to get that, can see why you would just go bloop.
Oh, with the like standing still?
Right.
Well, I tried to do it with my foot, and it still had a ski on it. So therefore, it kind of like...
You tried to lift up your foot, or did you try to bend
I did.
down?
I tried to lift up my foot and then hit the other one like this.
Oh.
And then I just fell right over.
That's funny.
We were actually in line for like the practice hills, like the little bunny things where you don't even take a chair lift up. You take like a little ramp. It's kind of like those moving sidewalks at the airport.
Oh, it's a conveyor belt?
Yeah, it's just a conveyor belt up this little bunny hill. We were in line to get there.
Okay, we're at the top now. Down.
Yeah. It was a challenge, but yeah, other than that, I did not fall. So it was good.
Yeah, well, that's a good lesson for everyone. Seriously, I mean, talk about when your time is up. I mean, he's in his hotel room.
This was Bob Saget?
Yeah, he hits his head and he dies. I mean, obviously his time was up. Like, there were no drugs, there was no alcohol. He didn't have a heart attack. I mean, it's like the luck is just your time is up as far as I'm concerned. So
right, yeah.
maybe
sometimes it
brought a little
happens.
peace to the family too, because it's not like there was anything they could have done. Like, oh, we should have maybe had him to the doctor more often or whatever.
just a freak accident. Yeah,
Just a freak accident. Yeah. So. But anyway, yeah, back of the head. I don't know about dogs. If he would hit his head here, if he should go to the doctor.
It's a good question.
But dogs don't usually fall backwards.
No,
Because they're on all fours.
They're shaped a little different than we are.
Especially this guy. But yeah, so Bob Saget is how that started. How did that start? Oh, because of my deathbed. I would get up and say something about Bob Saget if I had to. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Was that what we were talking about?
I don't know.
I don't think we were.
Next week, everybody, we have a guest, okay? So you won't be dealing with this stuff.
Yeah, you poor souls. Isn't this great?
But I guess Katie has put together...
I do have more.
Pop culture
Speaking
for
of, because Bob Saget is kind of
He's
pop culture.
And Natasha Richardson with The Parent Trap.
And Natasha Richardson, yeah.
And I remember The
hard
Parent
to
Trap.
say.
I never even seen it.
It is a good movie. It's a
And
classic
it was a
movie.
good one. It was with Dennis Quaid.
Dennis Quaid and then Lindsay Lohan.
Right.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, no, it's good. But if you guys remember from last season, I started doing... well, you probably know that Mary doesn't have any extensive...
Nor do I wish to, so I don't know why
knowledge
she's
of pop culture, and not any, but some. But there is a lot that you don't know, and I feel like
It's her responsibility.
it's my responsibility to teach you like some of the newer stuff. And we were just talking. I didn't write this one down, but we were just talking about this before we were filming. We have the Super Bowl tomorrow as of recording. I know this is coming out a little bit later, but I asked Mary who the teams are in the Super Bowl, and you knew that, right?
Cincinnati Bengals and Los Angeles Rams.
Great job. Now, who are the quarterbacks?
Now she has and I just watched on the news this morning a whole thing about the Bengals quarterback, and I don't remember his name. I just think it's something like Jason or
You're actually close.
Or
sort of.
Jordan or
Okay, you're in the right realm. For Cincinnati, right?
James.
You're there. I think you're there.
Jeffrey.
No.
Jared.
No.
George.
No. Although that was closer.
George.
What's my brother's name?
Joe?
Joe. Yeah.
It's Joe?
Yeah.
So I knew it was a basic name, so I'm like, David, Tim, Michael. But yeah, so it's Joe.
Joe Burrows.
I was going to say Joe Rogan, but that's
not.
that's a podcasting guy.
That's a different podcast than ours, yeah.
But
no,
yeah,
he doesn't play football.
But I guess it was just a really neat story because I guess he also uses his platform to help the hungry people in Ohio.
He is known to be a very likable person.
Yeah.
At least from what news says about him, which is, you never know. But yeah, it seems like he is a nicer person in
Joe
general.
Burrow.
Joe Burrow.
He looks really young too. Is he pretty
Which
young?
I can't remember if it's Joe Burrows or Joe Burrow. It's probably Burrow, I think.
Who's the quarterback of it? I have no idea.
No
Los
clue.
Angeles, not
He
even.
used to be the quarterback on the Lions, if that helps.
It doesn't help.
Okay.
The Lions who? The Lions, Detroit Lions, right?
Yeah.
Yay.
So that is Matt Stafford.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And he also is known to be very likable too.
Okay.
Although I don't really know why. I just I just know that that's what the headlines say about him or whatever.
You don't
but-
know like the details of like the home, you know, like helping the
No.
hungry.
Yeah,
or
I don't know
whatever.
any of
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, I don't read much into it, but
So so Joe Burrow.
look at you, you know stuff.
And somebody Stafford.
Right.
What was his first name again?
Matt.
Matt. How
Yeah.
can I not remember Matt?
So just think my brother and then my fiance.
Good
or
Lord.
Whatever. Yeah.
What's the matter with me? Okay, Matt Stafford.
All right. So I have
All right.
2 more questions. First of which was one that I came up with. And it is, who is not an actor that has played Spider-Man in a movie? So I'm going to give you 4. I'm going to give you 4 options. And I think it's
Never-
kind of relevant because
I've
there was
never-
a Spider-Man movie recently
I've
that
never
came
seen
out.
Spider-Man in my life.
That's great. So you're going to nail it, right?
okay, yeah.
Okay. So your first option, A, is Andrew Garfield.
Which I don't even know who that is.
Okay. And B is Tobey Maguire. C, Tom Holland. Or D, Tom Hiddleston.
I don't know any of those people.
You don't know any of those people?
No. I'm going to say D, Tom Hiddleston.
You got it right.
I'm just kidding.
That's so funny. And he is the only one.
I don't even know who it is. I don't even know. It's just
He was in a superhero movie, but he did not play.
I remember that's because that was the one you said last, so I remembered it. The first 3 I didn't
I
remember
should've-
because I never heard of
I
them.
should have mixed it up a little bit. Yeah, he played Loki in the Marvel universe, but the rest of them all played Spider-Man in different movies.
Okay, this morning
And the same one, but
the song from A Star Is Born with Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper came on, and it was reiterated to me that even though A Star Is Born, this was the 4th time it was made, I never knew that the lead guy died at the end of it.
oh,
And so when I went, the one movie I went to in 2 decades was A Star Is Born, and I was so angry that he died at the end. And people are like, how could you not know he died? This is the 4th time it's been made.
I haven't seen all the rest of them besides the
Me either.
Lady Gaga version. Yeah,
And so, so it was like, that was such a disturbing movie to me. I just get sad. I hear Shallow, and I'm not happy anymore. Because it's sad.
it is a really sad movie, and I think it's realistic with because he was like an alcoholic, right? Mm-hmm. That was like his big thing.
Yep,
And,
alcoholic.
and you show Lady Gaga's character who was who loved him, but was kind of ashamed of him in public because he would embarrass her and stuff. And I thought that was actually very relatable for those of us that have been in households like that, where you have someone like that who has, alcoholism or drugs or just is embarrassing in public, and you feel like ashamed when they're acting out and stuff. So I think it
Definitely
hit close
with
to
the-
home.
Yeah, with
know?
the alcoholism and just being insecure and calling attention to himself, But at the end, well, only because he had gotten clean, she wanted to include him in her music and tours and things like that. And
Right.
the agent convinced him that he needed to get out of the way, and I'm just so upset.
Wait, did you even see it recently, or was it?
It was 2 years.
Oh, okay.
2018.
So you heard the song. And then you remembered
2018.
that.
That's how long ago it was. 3.5 years ago I saw
Still
this, and I'm
upsets
still
me,
upset.
yeah.
Every time I see Bradley Cooper, I feel betrayed
Yeah.
because I feel like you're dead to me.
Right. That's not dramatic. No, not at all.
Is he panting?
No, he's licking his lips.
Okay.
Okay, I have one more, and I don't know the answer to this because Travis wrote it.
Oh, but do you know? Well, how am I gonna know?
I don't know. We're gonna shout to him or something because he's in the other room.
Travis?
Okay. And you're gonna take a guess, and I'm gonna take a guess.
Oh,
What is the name of the main character from the hit video game franchise Halo?
What the fuck? Why do I even need to know this?
Okay. First one is Corporal Dunningham. Is that right? Did I say that right? Second one is Master Chief. Mustard Chief. Third one is Kratos. And the fourth one is Spectre. Which one is the lead?
Kratos.
Okay, I'm gonna guess Spectre. Are either of us right?
She's actually the closest, because Kratos is an actual video game character.
Oh.
Spectre and Corporal Dunningham I just made up.
Oh.
Master Chief is the answer.
I was thinking Master Chief. Oh, man. Okay, well, I learned something too. And apparently Halo is a game of my generation, so I should know this, but I don't. So that makes me feel better.
It does make me feel better. Got
So
two
Master
losers
Chief.
in the family.
Is that how you spell it, or is it two names, like Master and then Chief?
One word.
It's one word? Okay.
Make it 2 words.
It kind of looks like handkerchief, you know? Like, that's what I think of when I see it. A good game of Halo. Handkerchief Halo. See? It makes sense. Okay, well, that was fun. That was my pop culture
And I'm not going to
questions.
remember,
Handkerchief.
I'm
Remember
not-
handkerchief for Halo.
but none, I mean, I just don't remember any of that. Oh, I have a funny thing to say.
Okay.
Okay, so my friend,
I like to laugh.
my friend Gail today
That was
said,
a Gail who came on our podcast.
yep, and
Okay.
then her daughter Jessica,
Mm-hmm.
she said one of her best parenting moments was that she told Jessica, when the ice cream truck comes around, if it's playing music, it means it's out of ice cream.
Really?
Yes.
That's cruel. Poor Jessica.
We were laughing so hard. We're like, what? And she didn't figure it out till she was about 12. And
That it was actually the opposite?
it was actually the opposite.
Because she probably saw kids running towards it, and then...
And so what happened is that it started, mostly it would come right when they were eating dinner. So Gail and Frank were like, no, there's no ice cream there. That's why it's playing music, because instead of ice cream, music. And so
Yeah.
until she was about 12, she believed it. And then one day she's like, seems like that truck is always out of ice cream. Why doesn't they ever have ice cream? So she asked one of her friends, and her friend's like, what?
Oh my gosh.
Mom!
Okay, it would have been hilarious if she, like, made fun of kids or, like, yelled at kids and say, like, you guys are goofy. Like, that means they have no ice cream. I don't know why you're chasing them or something, you know? Like, it just... if she, like, actually acted on it
And
more.
acting real confident with it, you know. It's like, you guys don't know anything.
Oh, that would have been so embarrassing to find out that you're actually in the wrong and you're, like, being confident about it stuff. Yeah. That would have been terrible.
I get so many funny things from my clients, just little things that are, you know,
It's a good community, and I
make me
think...
laugh. Yeah, it really helps me.
And everyone has their own lives, and they have stuff going on, and
And they
you get to
share.
bring it all together, and it's all a little different every day. I think, you know.
And they share. They feel welcome to share here, you know, and open. And there's no rules. I mean, it can be anything, you know.
I think that's a good like segue into what we had like an idea for a topic.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, this wasn't even the topic yet,
I
pop
know.
culture and stuff. But that even if someone has it worse than you, it's still okay to talk about your like the stuff that's gone wrong in your life.
Right. So what I was thinking this week, okay, first of all, I mean, obviously it's tough with Terry's cancer, but we got the news this week that it's spread.
Mm-hmm.
Not only are the current tumors about twice as big, there's multiple new tumors, and especially in the lungs, which is bad, and then also in the liver. So it was very bad news. We're going to continue treatment. Terry wants to keep going. It's really a 50-50 chance that his body will be able to tolerate it because he's so weak at this point, and I just don't, I personally don't think he will be able to, and I see the changes in him, and it's very sad. However, since Terry got the cancer, and then like all the other chaos in my life with, Steve's surgery and Grandpa and then him dying and, my past with with your father. I was going to say brother, but not thinking father. And just like I've had a really hard life, right? But now I'm in like the hardest part of my life ever because I'm going to lose Terry and I'm facing life without him, and we've been together 3 decades. So, but the common thing that people say to me, and this is what I want to talk about, is like, okay, I just need to vent. I'm quoting somebody. They'll look at me and they say, I just need to vent. But I know it's nothing near what you're going through, and I'm sorry for venting, and I'm sorry for complaining, but I just need to vent. And I
think I've said that to you too, honestly.
Yeah, I mean it's natural.
Yeah.
And what I want to say to people, at least for me, is if you don't, that means no one will ever talk to me again. If they're comparing, like, do you need to be losing your significant other of 30 years
right
after a life of drama and trauma in order
just to be able to talk
to be
to
able
each other,
to talk to me, or to be able to talk to me? Like, there's no comparison. And so what I always say to people, please, first of all, I love being distracted from my life, big, small, whatever it is. Second of all, sharing is what it's all about.
Mm-hmm.
Third of all, your pain and frustration and exhaustion is just as important. Yeah, maybe it's not as bad as this, but it also isn't as good as this, So we're human and we have emotions and things suck. And so I just want to say, don't stop talking to me because you think I have it worse. Don't stop talking to anybody because you think they have it worse, unless they tell you to fuck off.
Or they're giving you signals that they don't really care or whatever.
You're right.
But if it's like your friend that cares about you, you can still talk to them even if they have it worse.
Yeah, and it's interesting because besides getting this news about Terry this week, my massage therapist's sister died suddenly, and then my dad's girlfriend's daughter at age 70 died this week of a very similar cancer to Terry's. However, she was on her deathbed for 5 weeks, but the first 2 weeks she was coherent enough.
Yeah.
And she wanted people to talk to her. Tell me about your day. Tell me what happened to you. Don't like just stare at me and like, oh, you have it so bad. No, she's like, don't cry. Come on. Like, I'm still alive. Like, don't, and
yeah,
so.
and you want to hear about the other stuff that's going on in people's lives and stuff too.
Yeah. So, and then especially the distraction is important. So that's just the message I want to give is like.
Well, and I think it's important to like reiterate too, like anxiety is going to feel like anxiety no matter what the situation is. And then who's going through something down here, like if we're talking about severity or whatever, but it feels like something like, it feels like someone who's going through something up here.
Right.
It still feels. It just depends on whatever they're used to and whatever is like going on in their life. Maybe this is the worst thing in their life, even though it doesn't seem like it is to someone who's going through death or grieving or whatever, like it's still going to feel bad based on what people can handle and can't handle.
Yeah, you feel the way you feel.
You do. And I think that's really important. And we try to talk about that on this podcast. That's why we open it up to guests and have them share their story, because it's a lot of times different than our own. And it's still something that like people went through, whether it's a trauma or a challenge that they overcame. They still are like, they still had a lot of probably strong emotions about it.
Exactly.
And it's good to be able to talk about it.
And actually, that kind of anxiety sometimes is worse when you don't have anything really concrete to
hold on to. Yeah.
So then, and your dad was like that. No. Yeah, your dad. Because I get my dad, your brother, my brother,
It's like we're a family or something.
I know. Yeah. It's just.
It reminds me of how, you're doing it with like the type of person, but no one in our family could get like names right.
It's true.
I got called Lucky once. Like,
That's the dog.
It was probably my dad just being like, thinking he was funny. You'd be like, no, Joe, Sarah, Lucky, Katie, it would. That was a thing in our family. Probably isn't a lot of families, but still, like, no one can get the names right.
I don't remember anybody accidentally calling their kid the dog's name, though.
Well, doesn't it seem like something my dad would do, though?
Yes, it does.
Yes, I am
You're lucky.
I'm lucky. Or I'm a bitch, however you want to call it,
Same.
Because that's the female dog, right?
Female dog, yep. Was Lucky female?
No, but I'm a female.
Oh,
so
yeah,
I
you're a
would assume
female.
I would still be a female dog. I don't know, but if I were to come back in another life, I think I would be a female,
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Who
you'd be
knows?
a bitch.
I would be a bitch. You get it.
But you're not a bitch now, so.
Oh, thanks. That's high praise.
But your dad was like that in that when he had really big stuff to deal with, like when your mom would have a seizure, for instance, and be in the hospital.
Yeah.
Or when your kids were born, or when Sarah turned blue, or whatever, that's when he was his calmest. It was like he had this anxiety that needed a place to go, and when he
Interesting.
had a place to put it, he was calm.
Interesting.
But when he didn't have a place to put it, he would create something.
Huh.
So the smoother his life got, the more dramatic he got.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
But that makes sense.
My mom and I would talk about that a lot. Because he would step up when it mattered. Not when it was really big, when it was big enough for him to have a reason for his anxiety.
Right. No, that does make sense because he definitely, even with sports, I feel like he was calmer. And that's like, he was able to like function better almost because he had like stuff going on.
He had an outlet.
Right.
And even a distraction would be better, than just that anxiety that just.
And
yeah.
Not after the funeral, but when Grandma was dying, he wasn't blowing up in the hospital.
Right.
If I can recall correctly. But after the funeral, leading up to the funeral, after the funeral, and the beginning of our broken neck story, like he became what he was for the last year of his life, which was just a nightmare and, attacking everyone and
because
everything.
After Mom died, while she was dying, it was a big enough thing for him to have a reason for anxiety. But then after, even just planning the funeral wasn't big enough. That's not big enough. It's got to be pretty huge.
I don't think he did much of the planning either.
That's
did
what
he?
I mean, because it's not big enough. Meaning it wasn't big enough because he didn't plan any of it, nor did he want to.
Right.
So he just wanted to be angry.
Right.
But yeah, so sometimes being upset about the little things is worse because you don't feel justified. Nobody's dying in my family, so I'm not allowed to be unhappy and have a shitty week. Speaking of which.
Yeah, good segue. No, it's funny because when Mary brought this up, and she obviously, I've been in communication with her this week and knowing that all this stuff has been happening, but I also had just not had a great week, and it's not anyone dying. It's not like anything to do with cancer. But it was stressful for me and what I was going through, and it I guess to start, as people know, I'm putting on, or I'm.
But wait a second. Perhaps you wouldn't have wanted to share this with me as readily necessarily.
I think I would have.
Okay.
I think we have that kind of relationship where I still feel comfortable talking to you about.
Okay. Good.
Problems. I would have waited for the right time. I wouldn't have like interjected as you were talking about your stuff.
Oh, okay, right.
But I feel like we do have that kind of relationship where I can still talk to you about stuff.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's what I would hope. So,
yeah. Sometimes I do the phrasing of like, oh, I know this isn't like this or this.
That you do use that, and that's okay. But don't.
But I'm still gonna say it to you. Like I'm still gonna,
good.
jump in anyway. But
I love hearing about other people's bad weeks.
Yeah, and I'm happy to help. To start, I'm putting on my wedding, and
your aunt's coming out party.
Sorry,
as a reverend.
Yeah, coming out as a reverend, not as like
coming. Yeah.
Yeah, coming out. Other coming out. Yeah, but I'm realizing now that I'm into like the thick of it, and we're almost into it's like 7 months away. That like it's a lot, and it's really overwhelming, and especially if you're someone like myself who's really inexperienced with like planning parties in general, but then you put on like a several $1,000 party, and then a lot of it is like falling on your shoulders, and it's like it's it's really stressful. It can be really stressful.
I can't even imagine.
And it's like, it shouldn't be, because it should be like a fun thing, and I'm trying to, as much as I can, make it fun, and remember that it's like, this is one time, this is the most expensive party I'm going to put on, you know, maybe, hopefully, you know. And I'm trying to remember that, but sometimes it gets to be a lot. And so this past week, we've been working on like save the dates and setting up our website, and like the honeymoon, and also I'm thinking about the bridal shower and stuff. And it's just like it's not just the wedding, it's like all these things leading up to it, and everything, and all this stuff just happened to fall this week. And in addition to that, last weekend we had a lot of podcasting plans. Later that night I went up to Milwaukee for a friend's birthday. I got home at 2 a.m. and then the next day, right away in the morning, without barely any sleep, I went skiing with my brother, you know, like
For his birthday.
And I'm the type of person that needs like at least a day to like reset so that I can handle when stressors come.
Yeah, this is another good topic we can talk about later, but yeah.
Yeah, like I need that usually to like reset throughout the week so that I can handle stressful things, and I didn't get that, obviously. So then I'm trying to set up all this stuff, and it's like really just a lot.
And it's just
going
not
on.
you. It's not you to do this kind of thing. To
It's
pick
not.
out
I'm out of my element
gifts
here.
for yourself, and
Well, that's the thing. We don't
Yeah.
want gifts necessarily, and it's like we have a
don't
house
need-
full of stuff already.
don't need it. Yeah.
We don't need it, and we just want to have help with like the honeymoon, but we've been told by a lot of people that it's like tacky to do that. So then I was like, oh well, that's stressful for me, you know.
To
And
what? Ask for money?
to like come off as like tacky to the people that might be coming and stuff, and I don't want that to be like the case, and that's something that I have to learn to just get the fuck over, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
Because it's
help us
our
buy
wedding.
help us buy our honeymoon, and if
Yeah.
they don't want to, they don't have to. They don't have, but don't get me a baking pan
Oh my gosh, yeah, that we already have.
when you're
Matt's-
marrying a chef.
Matt has the kitchen completely set.
Yes,
There may be other stuff around the house that maybe we could use, but we're not.
and you love knickknacks.
Yeah. Love them. Okay, so those who don't know, that's kind of a joke because I actually don't
doesn't
understand. I don't understand knickknacks or just things that just take space on your shelf just for the sake of like taking space.
Like a paperweight.
like a paperweight. I don't understand it.
Well,
Why
unless
do you
you're
need
using
that?
it as a paperweight, but just having it sit on a shelf
as like a decoration.
as a decoration, or this little statue, or this little flower thing, you know.
Right.
It's like, and they're everywhere. I mean, Grandma had so many little salt and pepper shakers and little.
That just never made sense to me. I didn't understand it. Like these are nice. I like the little decorations, but this is the point. Like this is for our podcast, you know?
This is, I mean, it's actually advertising, yeah. Besides
Yeah.
the flowers, but
But
yeah,
it still looks cute. Like I get it.
minimal, but not to have every surface
Covered with some knick-knack. I don't get.
Sounds like ticky tack,
Ticky-tackies. Ticky-tackies. Yeah.
nicky nacky.
Pretty much. But yeah, so I'm kind of like have this internal battle of like, okay, the traditional way of the wedding versus what we want to do don't really match up, and it's like it's decisions that I make that I've never done before, so it's unfamiliar. I'm learning, and I'm trying to, you know, make it the best thing for me. And then I was experiencing all that, and you know, was getting so stressed out that I was I had like a moment where I like had to sit down and like kind of take deep breaths because it wasn't getting enough. It might have been a minor panic attack, honestly.
Well, and you're getting a lot of input too.
I've had
so-
worse than this, but it felt like a minor panic attack. And that happened, and then later that night, I get a text from my wedding makeup artist that she can't do my wedding because she has to go to another friend's wedding that she just got the save the date for. And
Wait.
So this was after the panic attacks, and then I just broke down into tears.
But she knew about your date for a long time now.
She did. It's been about a year or so.
But then another one just happened to come along and it was better?
I think it's just like her close friend, which I understand to an extent, but when you're in the thick of planning stuff and then like the littlest thing, and I think it was a perfect storm.
That was the culmination of it all.
It was a culmination of me not getting that day of rest at the weekend, or just a day throughout the week, plus all this other stress that was building up, and then, the tip of the iceberg.
That was it.
The makeup artist like cancels, and I'm like, I literally broke down in tears this week. And yes, that is not maybe in the grand scheme of things the same level as like to bring this full circle, what you were saying with like, people dying and with cancer and everything, but it was a lot for me. And
it's actually worse, I think, because then you feel guilty for breaking down, whereas
yeah.
Or not guilty, but you feel like you need to say, I know it's not as bad or whatever, but it is. It's bad. It sucks. And it's like disappointed. Like you got let down, right?
Yeah.
You got disappointed. You got a lot of input about how you're doing things wrong.
Yes.
You're supposed to act a certain way and want pots and pans when you don't need pots and pans. There's a lot of layers here that's beyond just,
There is a lot of layers, and
and it's your wedding. It's your wedding.
And and this is also kind of important, is like I didn't feel bad about feeling bad. It was coming out.
That's good.
It was just coming out, like it was
good.
You can acknowledge two things at once, that like it's not people, it could be worse, but it felt very painful,
awful.
and it just was hard for me in the moment and stuff.
Okay, I'm glad you didn't feel bad about feeling bad, because me in the past, there have been like times when I really feel bad about feeling bad, but I'm getting better at it, learning that you just feel the way you feel.
Right. This was like this stuff was demanding to come out. Like I think the tears I was due for a cry. And it needed to come out, and it didn't come out the way I wanted it to, but if you don't take the time to prepare yourself for chaos, you're going to be more affected by chaos when it comes.
And that's interesting, because it always comes out, for the most part, in one way or the other.
Right.
Like when you try to bury things, it comes out. It forces its way out.
Right.
To a certain extent. Some people are able to bury things forever, but maybe not, because it comes out passive aggressively then,
Right. Yeah. You need to like release it, and I don't feel ashamed about having a little anxiety, not a lot of anxiety about putting on a big event like this.
Yeah.
This is not my normal thing. This is hard, and now I understand when people say that weddings stress them out, because I'm doing it. Like I can really empathize with people that I didn't understand before.
And you don't have a wedding planner. You don't have. I guess. It really comes back to you, even if you get help with it. Like if Maddie were to help you, for instance, or
there's people willing, and maybe I need to be better at delegating stuff.
Okay.
But it's just.
But like picking out your registry or whatever, you can't.
Yeah, there's stuff that only we can do.
Then you'll end up with like 12 bacon pans, right? sauce pans or whatever.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, so it was a tough week for me.
Well, let's talk about the most important thing. What are you going to do about your makeup? It's important that you look good at my Reverend.
That's what I'm saying. I'm doing this for you. Your Reverend coming out. Yeah. I'm already dressing in a nice gown. It's very formal.
One of the nicest gowns that I've ever seen.
It's very, and it
looks like it could be a wedding.
I spent some good money on it. Yeah.
I wonder what Matt will wear.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
You better dress nice for my party.
Yeah, maybe a tux or something.
A tux would be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is we gotta show up for you. This is really important.
Oh gosh, no. So you don't know what you're doing for your. Okay.
No, that's another thing that I gotta. I took a day to not think about it.
Sure, that was healthy too. Look at how healthy you are.
Right, and then I'll
baby? I'm gonna.
I'll start looking at it again later.
Yeah, that's so healthy.
Woof.
He might pee, but that's okay. But talking about the work, not the work-life balance, but the life balance, I think it's interesting to hear that you, at your age, you need a day
I do.
to chill and be and have no schedule and be
Maybe
able to
do
read,
like stuff around the house,
stay
read, do
in your
laundry.
pajamas if you feel like it, do whatever you want.
Right.
And that's enlightened at your age, because a lot of people, because you do have energy, you are capable of working a full week,
Mm-hmm.
and then going out Friday night, podcasting Saturday, having another guest to interview, then going to a party that night, and going
Right.
skiing the next day, and still go back on Monday. But what you're saying is, I don't like that. A, B, then you don't have a foundation of calm
Right.
to deal with what comes your way.
Like if something chaotic comes, yeah.
It's almost like planning ahead, in the sense of knowing, okay, that's too much for one weekend. So if I can't take a day off or whatever,
or at
to
least
balance
half a
it,
day, a morning or something, yeah.
if I can't balance it out, I know me, and I know it's going to be too much for me. So I'm going to have to say no to one of those things or postpone it to a different time.
Yeah, and I think I mean these days I'm doing a lot better with that. But there wasn't a lot. I felt like if I could do this every so often, like one weekend every so often I can handle it, and then the next weekend I'll try to make it easier on myself.
Okay.
And I thought it would be balanced enough. I didn't obviously expect.
But you didn't
more-
expect the wedding part of it.
Yeah, I didn't expect like a snag in the wedding to happen.
And
then I wasn't ready for it, so then my whole body did not respond well to it.
So it was, like you said, the perfect storm.
It was.
But it's still a good lesson to learn to build up your reserves of calm. I think that's an interesting concept, like a bank of calm.
Yeah.
And even if you
It's
think
like-
you can handle it, it's like if anything goes different than what you expect, that you're on the edge and you're going to blow,
Didn't we kind of talk about that in a recent episode with like the deposits into your mental health, like
Good
deposits and withdrawals? I withdrew too much, and then probably had a fee on my account then, because I
There you go. Right, you were in debt
I was in debt
to your calm bank.
overdrawn. Yeah, and my fee
It's not
was
good when you
crying.
end up over. Oh.
Oh,
That's the
Oh,
blind
oh,
dog. Yeah.
oh,
He sees certain things and he compensates well, but I think he was thirsty. It looks like he went and got drinks. Hi, baby. Hi. Did he pee?
No, water.
He just wanted water? Oh. Did he go get water?
he's so smart.
Yeah, I clinked the dish so he could find it.
Thank you, Travis. Travis is so great. He's one of our people.
And he knows Halo, the game.
Oh. And it's, Handkerchief.
Yeah, and Handkerchief, the main character, right?
So I know you have, speaking of having a lot in one day, you've got more to do today.
Yeah, but it's okay. Like I'm excited for it. We get to do more wedding planning, but I feel like I'm more mentally ready for it.
And this is
I took
is
a
really
day-
happy, connection.
Yeah,
So,
this is good. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's positive. So
And then tomorrow, do you have, besides
Nope.
the big game?
I got nothing. I get my day.
And
Yeah.
then you'll watch the Super Bowl,
I'll
you
watch
think?
the Super Bowl. Yeah, we'll order
with
pizza.
Jared, no, Joe Burrows,
Jared Burrows.
and Matt
Stafford.
Stafford.
Yes.
Not
Stafford.
Sheffield. No.
There is a yeah, you're right.
Stafford. Okay.
But if you say it with a little lisp, it comes out Stafford.
Stafford. Matt
Yeah.
Stafford. And
And that's
Joe
going to be a great day.
Burrows.
Joe Burrows. Yeah,
You think it'll be a good game?
I think so. Yeah, no one is really certain on, like, there's no, like, heavily favored team.
Could be really good.
I think the Rams are favored a little bit, but I don't think
It's not like going to be. Oh man, I really just want a
I
good
think
game.
I think it'd be a good game.
And the playoffs were amazing. All the games were so
were-
close, and overtime and special teams. Huh, listen to me.
Yeah, this is keep
That's just
going.
what I heard.
Go on. how the Packers lost, was because of special teams.
That's what I heard.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
fun times.
Anyway, well, I have to bring Dunkel home to his nighttime home,
Okay.
and I think I thought that camera was off.
Nope.
Okay.
It's just gonna be a clip of you looking at it. Well, yeah, we can wrap it up. I think, I don't know, I thought that we got into some good topics, though. It was
Definitely.
nice.
And next week we have a guest, and the week after we have a guest. So,
You guys got that to look forward to.
yep. And so, yeah, this is good. It's good to just do us every now and then to reconnect with why this all started and, where we're at, and
Yeah.
just chat with our fans.
Chit chat with our fans.
Chitty chatty. Chitty
Chitty-talkies?
chatty.
Chicky
Chatty
chockies?
with ticky tacky. Ticky
Okay.
tackies.
All right.
Chitty chatties. All right. Till next time. Thank you so much.
Yes, thanks for watching and listening. We'll see you next time.
Bye bye now.
Bye bye.